It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute the big vision you have for all the people you were called to serve. And this morning or this evening, whatever time it is, we'll be speaking to Brian and Lisa McNeill. Now, this is something really cool. This is something really special because, well, let me just start here. They're a couple, they're married, but yet they're in business. And that sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? It even sounds kind of crazy. So let me start off before I tell you how famous Brian is and how cool Lisa is. Let me start off by asking them, number one, how are you able to work together and still have a smile and still be hugging each other on the screen like you just met yesterday? So here's the question, Brian and Lisa. What's one of the secrets that you have in order for married folks or people who are couples to be able to be in business together and still have that fire and flame?
Fantastic. Well, first off, I want to say thank you, Shay, for this opportunity to serve, this opportunity to be helpful. And that question is a familiar one.
Absolutely.
We get asked that question a lot of times. How can you guys be around each other all the time and still be lovey-dovey? You work with her, you see her all day because we both work from home. How can you do it? I think, I want you to say your answer too, babe, but I think they're framing the question incorrectly.
Well, I have two answers, but you go ahead.
Okay, you had two answers. We're going to give them both. Okay, my answer to that question is I don't look at it as if I'm working with my wife. I look at it as I'm working with my best friend. And I know my best friend is in the fray with me, so she understands my day. I don't have to explain to her what's a tough day, what's a not so tough day. So I'm working with my best friend. That's how I look at it. And you got what you got?
Well, I don't disagree with that. I definitely agree with that to some degree. But I think that there are two things that really critically help things to work together. First is that we respect one another's strengths. Mm-hmm. We respect one another's strengths. We recognize that we are different, but that our differences actually benefit us because you're strong in one area and I'm strong in another area. The other thing is...
And it makes it better for both of us.
Absolutely.
Really.
And the other thing is something that we apply not only in business, but also in our marriage, is that we always seek to understand before trying to be understood.
Major. It's major in my home.
Absolutely.
We always seek to understand before being understood. Why is she feeling that way? Where's she coming from? What's her perspective?
Or what does she really mean?
Yeah.
What is she really mad at? Or what is he really upset about? Or what really is the issue? Because more often than not, it's not what you're thinking. Because you're only thinking about it from your perspective. By switching it around and looking at it from almost like going to the other side of the room, looking at it from another side of the room.
From their side,
wait a minute, he wouldn't care about this, or this. So what is he really seeing when we're talking about this? And that actually helps us to really get to the root of the conversation.
That's it.
How do you handle okay, so I'm home all day with my wife. She's upstairs. She's here now. I'm in love. I'm my third marriage. I'm in love. Okay. But here's the question I have. How do you handle, not gonna say conflict, when there's a disagreement, right? Because we do work together all day long. And there's some folks might say, okay, I get the first part, but behind the scenes when there is conflict or there is there's a disagreement, how do you go about resolving it when you have to be there with the person in that present moment all day long? And the reason I asked that question is you mentioned 2 points. Number one, hey, sometimes, I need to know what they're thinking, which I still haven't figured out what my wife's thinking, but yeah, figure that out. And then when I get it wrong, how do I respond? So what's the question? Sure. How do you handle when, there's a little conflict back and forth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
That's interesting because you can go first if you like.
You sure? No, go ahead.
Well, that's interesting because in all honesty, we often don't agree in the areas where it's not our strength.
Yeah.
Because you're assessing based on what you think versus what you know. And honestly, the way that we get around that is if there is a tie, meaning there's an impasse or whatever, then whoever is a more of an expert in that area, their answer goes. Even if their answer ends up being wrong, their answer is chosen.
Our principle is what I was going to say as well. Our principles, we defer to the area of expertise.
Absolutely.
Okay. And also,
if it's in the kitchen, stay out of my kitchen. If it's about publishing,
that's a big deal.
Stay out of my
That's a
publishing.
big deal. Kitchen and publishing.
Yeah.
I thought I was a good cook when I first got with Lisa, but she likes the kitchen to be hers. So I don't get to do it as much. But anyway, we're not in the same room most of the time. My office is down the hall.
Absolutely.
I have a separate office. But our morning show, which we've been doing for 7 years now, we do that in Lisa's office. And when the show's over, I leave Lisa's office. This is Lisa's office. That means she runs this office here.
And everything that goes on.
And everything as her office. I can't tell her how to decorate her office, what to do in her office.
Or how to manage productions that I'm dealing with.
Right.
Anything that has to do with publishing
show
or marketing
or publishing,
those are in my wheelhouse. Now we'll discuss them and receive input from both sides, but
sometimes a lot of input, but
absolutely. And you can input all you want, but when it's time to make the final decision, we weigh whatever was received and we make the decision based on who is the subject matter expert.
That's right.
In the issue.
Let me address. Thanks so much for sharing. By the way, that is super fantastic. Let me address the elephant in the room. How's that? What about the person? This is just your perspective because y'all are both at home. That says, "Look, I'm an entrepreneur, but my spouse or significant other or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever you want, that special someone is not." Right. And so the dynamics may be a little different. So I understand what it's like being a couple in business. And I know y'all have that wired, but you also have a perspective and some suggestions, I hope, for the individual that says, no, I'm an entrepreneur and they are not. And so, how can I handle that so we can kind of get along? Does that make sense?
Because for
some folks, it's like that.
It comes up a lot. As a matter of fact, you can. Go ahead, baby. I was going to say, as a matter of fact, my sister wife, which is Brian's previous wife, the mother of my son, she has actually often said that she wishes that there was a handbook for someone to be married to an entrepreneur who's not an entrepreneur, because that was actually a very point of contention that we had to navigate. We didn't have to navigate it because we were wired the same way.
She was an entrepreneur when I met her.
Right. We were already both entrepreneurial, but Brian and my sister wife, his previous wife, were not simpatico when it came to.
And I want to make this clear. I was single for 10 years before I met Lisa.
There was nothing.
I didn't go from one wife to the next one like that.
No.
They're friends now. Them two are friends. But it was 10 years before I met Lisa.
Absolutely.
But it's difficult.
It is.
When one is entrepreneurial and the other one is not.
Mindset.
The person that's not entrepreneurial values their security differently than the person that is entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And the person entrepreneur values opportunity and a chance of expression
more than security.
So it's a difficult place.
If I would say that there's any place, it's really going back to communication.
Yeah. That's how they would do it. They would have to talk a lot more.
There's going to have to be a lot of communication. There's going to have to be some guidelines on what type of safety nets are going to be required for the non-entrepreneurial one to have any sense of security in there. There's going to have to be a lot of communication and guidelines established.
Let me say this example, okay? And this is a real life example. I had a month when I was not married to another entrepreneur where I made $11,000 that month, okay? I brought in $11,000 and everybody was happy.
Absolutely.
And the following month, I brought in about $1,200, okay? So, and there was not happiness in my house, okay? And the person that was not entrepreneurial was not happy. I don't like this up and down.
Up and down.
I can't live like this. Mm-hmm. You need to go get a real job. And I was still happy because aggregate over 2 months' time, let's see.
You're averaging
12,000 divided by 2. Okay, we're doing okay. 13,000 divided by 2. We're doing all right. But I was willing to do it that way, but that's because it made sense to me.
Right.
I can have another 11 grand month, or I can have another 20 grand month. I can have another one, but that doesn't mean it's guaranteed. So we work without a net. And what jazzes you up and what not jazzes you up. It jazzes me up an opportunity to be great. It jazzes me up an opportunity to showcase my unique set of gift, skills, and talents in order to earn $1. And that, I mean, every single dollar I earn, I know it's because I produce something, not because I just showed up, because I produced something. That drives me and my spirit, and my wife understands that.
And I think in that situation where one person is entrepreneurial and one is not, there's really going to be a need for a lot of come to Jesus. We got to understand what's going on with the highs and the lows. How can we make you more comfortable? How can we help to manage these expectations? It really does come back once and again to communication. And I would also add prayer.
Because that one is not an easy one to me.
No.
Okay.
The audience is listening to this, and I'm talking to the one and only Brian and Lisa McNeill, and they're like, Shay, you never asked the backstory. Like, how did they get together? I mean, I see these smiles, I hear the laughter. Brian's clear. It wasn't for 10 years. Okay. So you got to slow down, and then we'll speed up. You got to share with the audience. They want to know, how did you meet? I mean, we all are on our edge. We were all waiting for that, but it never came out. So I've got to ask the question now. How did you meet?
You got a good audience, man, is what that is. Oh, man. We met. At the time we met, long or short version, what should we do?
Do whichever one you want. I'll correct you if you're wrong.
Okay. I was living in a different city. We live in Charlotte, North Carolina right now together. Mm-hmm. And I was living in Greensboro, which is about an hour and a half away, another city. And I was conducting workshops called How to Sell Your Services Like a Superstar on the weekends, okay? And I wanted to host that workshop in Charlotte, North Carolina, a much bigger city. So I wanted to market in Charlotte, North Carolina. And there was an organization in Charlotte, North Carolina that had been soliciting me and all this kind of stuff. They had like 12 offices, and they kept wanting me to be a part of their clubs.
You always want to start there. There's actually a whole year before then that we met.
The year before that, but we didn't meet in person.
We didn't meet in person.
All right, I got a phone call. Lisa was a part of this networking group that met on Wednesday mornings called Street Smart Marketing Networking. And I used to be a member of that group many years before, so I had friends still in the group. Very, very serious business people. They just, very serious. Every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m.
And I was,
and Lisa was a part of there. Mm-hmm. I got a phone call from one of the guys in the group. It says, Brian, we got this woman in this group here. She is a powerhouse, but she's going to make no money. She has no idea how to sell. Can you help her out? We love her. We want her to be successful. Help her out, Brian.
I never asked them for any help, and I was in the group to learn from all the gentlemen. Yeah, I was not trying to sell anything.
They thought you would be broke.
They were all men.
So they called me.
They all thought that they would help out the woman who had never asked them for any money.
Anyway, they called up Brother Brian, and they gave me her name and number. And he said, give her a call, please. I said, sure, no problem. I loved and respect the guy that asked me to call her. So I called her up. I said, hey, I'm Brian McNeill. I'm a sales coach. I help people to sell themselves and their services. Can I talk to you for a minute? She was like, ugh, okay, what? I said, so what do you do for a living? And she gave a horrible answer. And I was like, okay, I see why they thought she's going to starve. Okay, well, look, I could be helpful to you. I can show you how to do that. And she just wasn't with it, Shay. She didn't want to know about it.
I was still in learning and building mode.
She didn't want to take my call. She didn't want nothing to do with it.
Nope.
So I got off the phone with her and I called my boy back. I said, Bill, she's not with it, man. So I left her alone. And a year later, when I got angry at the organization for not allowing me to market, I said, well, who's in charge of this thing? Y'all been soliciting me the first time I want some help. Who's in charge? Turns out Lisa was in charge. Okay, the woman that didn't want to hear nothing from me, she's in charge. So they got her contact information. And Shay, I got on the phone with her, and I didn't realize who it was. I got on the phone and was like, look, you guys been asking for my help, Yeah, I was, the first time I asked her help, y'all can't help me. And she received all that. She goes, well, look, we can't help you the way you want to be helped.
Because you're not a member of the organization that I had built up. So
anyway,
we can't.
But y'all have been bothering me.
Listen.
So she said, but I will help you, is what she said. I can help you to market your event through my networks. And she did. Did you want to fill in?
No, you could go ahead.
So she started filling in. And so I was doing a workshop. I rented the place and all that. And
So no, this is where I will interject.
Okay.
So I said I will help you through my personal networks and not my professional networks, because since you're not a member, you don't qualify for the professional networks, but I can help you because I wanted to diffuse some of the angst that he was coming at me with both barrels. And anyway, in any event, I created some marketing materials for him. I helped him to get some registrations through my networks, and ultimately I was talking with him about the process. I hadn't charged him anything because, again, the way this whole thing started was merely I'm trying to do damage control. I'm trying to do customer satisfaction. I'm trying to pull him down off of this outrage or whatever. At this point, we're about 10 days from his event. And then I'm like, I've done enough. I've done all of this work for no pay. I know how I'm going to get rid of this guy amicably. So what I say to him is, well, at this point, we've got your collaterals out there. We've got you out in all of my groups. We've got everything out. If you were my client, meaning if you had paid me something, if you were my client, this would be the time that we would start praying and interceding for your event, thinking that that's going to get him going, right? I'm thinking that he's finally going to get off my phone because at this point, we're talking every day for free, and I'm ready for him to go ahead. So he says immediately after I say, we'll start praying for your event, I'm thinking he's going to say, all right, well, thank you for your help. Have a nice day. He says, all right, how's 7 o'clock?
I said 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
I said 7 a.m. So I went and checked out all her pictures on Facebook, all that stuff. I said, she's kind of pretty. Okay, I looked at all of her pictures. So I was like, okay. And then we started praying
we
for the event.
We started praying together for
every
the
morning
event,
at 7 a.m.
For 10 minutes, completely nothing about else. The event, nothing else. God bless the event in Jesus' name, amen.
That's it.
Every morning until 2 days before the event. And then 2 days before the event, he asked me a question that took me off guard.
I asked her how tall was she, because I couldn't gauge from her picture. She must have been standing around a bunch of short people.
No, I didn't know how to do camera.
Okay.
So when he asked me how tall I was, I knew, wait a minute, you don't have to know how tall I am to help market your event. I'm thinking to myself, oh, now it's getting personal. That's the first question. That's the first thought that comes to my mind. The second is, oh, he must be short, because tall people don't care how tall you are.
Yeah, that's true. I'm 5'7". Okay, I'm 5'7", and Lisa's 4'11". So when she told me 4'11", okay, this probably fits. I'm 5'7", she's 4'11". All right. So now the day of the event, let's get past that. The day of the event, I came into town early. I had rented a hall with nice round tables, tablecloths, and all that stuff. I hired a lady to check people in, paid her. And the lady hadn't gotten there yet. So I got there very early, and I'm setting up tables. I'm trying to get coffee made, and I heard these heels come in on the linoleum in the foyer outside the room, heels, and it was carpeting in the room. I heard the heels first. I looked up, and then Lisa walked in. She had on a short mini skirt. She had a tall mohawk, blonde mohawk, like this color blonde, but it was taller. And she looked beautiful. Her face was beat. And I saw the beautiful legs and those heels. And I was like, wow. And when she came in the room, I knew who she was. I'd seen her picture, but I'd never seen her in person. So I reached out and greeted her, Shay. And Shay, I had never done this before, but I've taken ballroom dancing lessons. And I saw this beautiful woman walk in. I took her hand. I swung her out. I spun the lady out. I brought her back home, kissed her on her cheek, and I spun her back out. And she fell right in with the dance step.
The very
all right, silky smooth, Denzel Washington in the building.
I'd never done that before with someone I didn't know, but she fell right in. And the beautiful thing is, she saw what was going on. This man is out of town. He's about to do a 3-hour workshop, and I was doing 2 of them in the same day, from 9 to 1 and then 4 to 7. So I was doing 2 3-hour workshops the same day out of town. She realized what was going on, and she kind of like took over. She started running. She set up the camera. She set up something else. And then when the lady showed up that I hired, Lisa took charge of her too. Mm-hmm. So she kind of like started to run my event, and I just was free enough to present. Yeah. I did my workshop. And then when that first workshop was over, we went to lunch together. We went to a Mexican restaurant, Punta Cana, and then Lisa came back for the second workshop. So the first day we met, she heard me speak about selling for 6 hours. I took her to lunch and to dinner the first day we met.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how nice of you just to offer to take it to lunch and dinner. Isn't that kind? Wasn't he
Well, I
such a
was
kind
interested.
human being, ladies and gentlemen? I'll just take it to lunch. No, I'm going to buy dinner as well. What you want?
Yeah. I was definitely interested. So that's how we connected in the beginning. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, that's first of
and
all, thanks a lot for sharing that story. That I love it. That is not only funny, but it's humorous, but it's real. And so thanks for being transparent. Take a moment if you can, because I want to transition in a second and learn about this book you have coming out. Tell the audience about the show you both have. What's the mission, goals, and objectives, and how they can connect with you on the show. And then we'll get to talking about how they can connect with you through the book and other cool things you're doing. But right now, talk about this show you have, man, that's changing the world, that's making a difference and impacting lives every single day.
That you have been a guest on before.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's an honor. Thank you.
Our show is called Let's Talk About It with the Empowerment Duo.
We talk about personal conversations,
business information,
and spiritual inspiration.
With a little bit of shenanigans thrown in.
The show's been going on since October of 2016. So that means we're into our 7th year. Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday for 7 years. Lisa's been on my left. That's thousands of shows. Yep. Now, we haven't expressed. Her name is Lisa Santiago McNeill.
Don't leave out the Santiago.
That's right. That counts. And I am
Brian K. McNeill.
And include the K if you're going to do a search.
You need a K.
And together make what's called the Empowerment Duo. Our show has a very loyal audience. It's an entrepreneurial audience. It's a mature audience. Many of them show up every single day, and several of them show up several times a week. But it's Monday through Friday.
9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can connect with us at theempowermentduo.com.
That's the easiest way, theempowermentduo.com. It'll show you how to tune into our show through Facebook and through YouTube. And plus it has all our other cool stuff. Yeah. Our workshops, our books, our programs, male empowerment networks, women empowerment networks. We do a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Theempowermentduo.com. Head over to theempowermentduo.com. Make sure you go visit that right now. Like, just go type it in the browser right now, the empowermentduo.com. I'll give them both a minute to talk about what they do. And then I want to talk about this book that's out now, 93. No, it's not 90210. It's 932. But first take a moment so they understand what Lisa does. And then take a moment and talk about what you do as well. So when you connect with the empowermentduo.com, they also got specialties in two unique, distinct areas.
Yes.
Take it away.
Absolutely. So I am the coach's coach. I work with a lot of individuals that are also coaches because they have gone through some things in their lives that now they had to navigate through them alone, and they have identified that has become their strength, and now they want to help reach back and pull through other people to do the same thing. I help them to structure their businesses, help them to set up their curriculum, and learn how to create their own caste system. And I also help them to publish their theologies or their theories so that they can begin to utilize that as a way to communicate with the client that they want to serve.
Lisa also owns a company called Empowerment Publishing and Multimedia that she founded in 2016. And to date, she has helped birth more than 115 works.
123.
123 books or projects or journals that she's published since 2016.
Absolutely.
Now, my company, I am Brian K. McNeill. I'm the sales confidence coach. I'm the king of the conference rooms, and I am the entrepreneur's sales manager. And what I do is I help amazing entrepreneurs that offer services to the world and help them to sell themselves and their services better than they ever had before so they can earn more money than ever before. I do that through my books, through my workshops, through my coaching, and through my talks on my platform. To date, I've now published 6 books myself. Lisa's published 8, I think. Between us, we'll have 13 by the end of the year, I think is what it is. So we both write, we both are speakers as well. We speak, we write. I speak only in my specialty, which is selling and sales. And Lisa speaks about empowerment and women and those kinds of things. So that's what we do. Together we run the show, and we run very often. A client will come to me that's not ready to talk about sales. And what I'll do is I'll funnel them to Lisa first.
Absolutely.
And then they're ready to talk about
to help
sales.
them get the clarity that they need to really make an arrow to point to what it is that they want to do. A lot of times people come to me with lots of random ideas and things that they want to do, and I help them to bring it all together, and then Brian helps them to launch it out into the deep.
That's what I do.
I love it. And they're also cool, kind human beings, by the way, who show up to help other folks. You can go to theempowermentduo.com, www.theempowermentduo.com. They are talking about books and all these wonderful books that they have and how many books they have between them, which is cool. But there's also a new book out. And the new book is 932. Is that it? 932. Take a moment, if you would, Brian, and give us, obviously, we want the backstory to the book, right? So the origin story, the mission of the book, and what the purpose is. So the origin story, the mission of the book, and what the purpose is, so the audience can grab it all.
Got it. Super excited about this book. I wrote this book, 65% of this book was completed 2 years ago. And then I sat it down on the shelf, and for a day, that became a week, a month, and now it's 2 years later. But the book is called 932, the 9 most important words, the 3 most important skills, and the 2 most important questions. This is a second book from my series of Mr. Randall. The first book was Why Rhinos Make Great Salespeople, featuring Mr. Randall the Rhino. It was anthropomorphic, okay? Featuring Mr. Randall the Rhino. But the 932 is Mr. Randall the Rhino talking to his 9-year-old daughter about the 9 most important words like courage and love and know and faith, and how these words impact their lives. And the 3 most important skills, the ability to communicate, lead, and sell, and the 2 most important questions. And it's coming from a father to his daughter. Mm-hmm. It's my belief that so many young people would do so much better in their lives if they had a direction, a path. Absolutely. This book will inspire confidence and conversation and build character. And it's written on a grade level between ages of 8 and 18. This is the first book of my books. All my books are nonfiction, other than the children's books, that I really believe should be in school systems. Educators and everyone who believes it's important, the rearing of children, should have this book. The 9 most important words, the 3 most important skills, and the 2 most important questions.
Where can I go to get the book? This is pretty cool, man. I love it. Where did it go? Like, okay, Ryan, they're leaning in now. Where did it go to purchase the book? And if it's not for you, it might be for someone you know as well. So go get a book, not only just for yourself, but for someone else as well. Where can it go?
Go to theempowermentduo.com. Yes, your one-stop shop for everything empowerment. You can get in touch with us. You can watch the show. You can purchase any of Brian's books, any of my books, and you can connect with us there as well. Yeah. Our links, if you want to schedule some time to discuss with us a project that you're working on or some coaching that you might need, just go to theempowermentduo.com and scroll down the list of links to find out which link supports what you're looking for.
Yep.
Theempowermentduo.com. They said it a couple of times, theempowermentduo.com. We have a segment here that's called Today is My January 1st, right? And today is my January 1st. And you're probably hearing that as you're listening at home, right? Today is my January 1st. Pretty exciting, isn't it? Now, some of you are family. Welcome back. You know what we're about to do. You know what we're about to do. And then some of you are new to this. It's your very first time. So today is my January 1st. Represents a do-over. It represents a fresh start. It means that your past no longer equals your future, that you don't have to wait till December 31st on the back of a napkin. I'll say it like that at 11:59 p.m. and start saying, I got to get going. You can get going now. You can make a first step, and you can make it happen now, like it's now o'clock time. That's what today is my January 1st represents. But my question to Brian is, when you hear that word, today is my January 1st, which is a sentence, what goes through your mind? What do you hear?
First, I hear it in Shay Brown's voice.
Every time.
You're so funny.
Every time.
I hear it in Shay's voice, which is amazing. But I understand what it means. That means today is a day that you've never seen before. You can make this day whatever you decide what this day can be for you. This day can be great for you. And there are steps you can take. There's things you can do today to make today great. Today at about 11:45, 11:40, I decided I'm going to give a free workshop designed specifically for coaches, a webinar for coaches, Secrets of Selling Coaching Services. We posted it about 12:05, 12:10. 6 people registered, and 6 people was in the room. And one of the things that happened to me today, Shay, I just decided to give a free class. I spoke for an hour and 7 minutes, but when it was over, the emotion from the people in the room, they were so grateful, and my spirit was so blessed that they were thankful that someone took their time to answer these questions for them or to teach them something that they've always needed to know. They're struggling in their business, and I felt like I was doing godly work today.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
And Lisa, were you about to say something? 85% of our audience are women. They can't let Brian do all the talking. They're not going to allow that. They want to know. We want Lisa's view of the world because it's got to be different. And I'm joking with you, joking. But yeah, sure. What are your thoughts, Lisa? Because they want to hear from you. They would throw arrows at me if I didn't do that.
Absolutely. Your January 1st, actually, I think about it as your December 31st. Your December 31st is the last day that you can accept that excuse. Your January 1st, you've got tabula rasa. That is a clean slate. It is a start over. It is a do-over. Yesterday ended last night. Right now, you have all of the information that you had before, but you have a new enthusiasm to move forward with it. And that means success is imminent.
Success is intimate, man. First, let me say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I appreciate you giving us your time. The one thing we know is you can always make more money. There's lots of money to make, but you can't make more time. So let me say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And Lisa, by the way. And go over there and connect with them at www.theempowermentduo.com. Again, www.theempowermentduo.com. For those that forgot, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. I want you to know you're amazing. I want you to know that you're going to do some awesome things. And if for you, as you're watching, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Well, your best is still yet to come because today is your January 1st. With that being said, make it a great day, everyone. We'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember this one phrase, though. Time is so long. Life, on the other hand, it's very, very short. So you got to live in that moment and you got to make it count. God bless and wish you success. Thanks a lot, both of you. I appreciate you both being on there. Squeeze on there. Peace. We out.